An often used word by YouTubers is awesome. Another often used word is game changer. Now the machine that I'm on is totally awesome. I've used it a few times. We've had it on the property here for a couple months, but we just haven't had time to use it the way I want to use it because of that house build going on in the background. We've been very busy with that and other things because it's springtime, and there's certain things that you just got to get done when the season is right, and the season is right for a lot of things. So I got two emotions as I go into this video. One of them is excitement. Like, I've been thinking about using this machine in this manner for a long time. The other one is either anxiety or fear, because this is a powerful machine. I've got a lot of things going on up here in the front of this machine, and even though I've used something similar, I've never used something, exactly like this. And well, I'm getting close to the woods. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is the Baumalight TRL 630D, and the D as in Delta stands for the fact that it has a 2-speed transmission, so you can go across your property quicker. Because one thing about these mini skid steers is they tend to be slow. And on the front of it, we've got a mulching head. This mulching head is about 3 feet wide or so, and I've never used it. I've hooked it up a couple times just to test it out, make sure I knew how to run it. But this thing is incredible, awesome, game-changing, call it what you want to call it. But watch this thing spin. Let me rev it up for you. Pretty quiet. Isn't that thing awesome? I've known what I've had here for a while, and I've just not been able to use it. And today I'm just ready to get in here and wreak havoc in these pines. So we're gonna do some before right now, and then show you some after, and of course show you the in progress as well. But it's got a 25 horsepower Kubota diesel engine, and I'm just wondering how much brush that can handle at one time. I think over here, no problem at all. When we get into that thicker stuff, it's going to be interesting to see if that motor bogs down, because we've got the Baumalight 4-foot mulcher behind our 40 horsepower tractor, and we can bog that down pretty easily, especially when you get into brush piles like that. And that's what I've done a lot of. I've gone in and cut a lot of brush and piled it up, so I've got to mulch those piles down. But I don't want to do that with this mini skid steer, at least not yet. I want to start small and work my way up. So here's our before shots. Now that's been brush hogged in between the rows, but I couldn't get the brush hog in between the actual pine trees. So this is our before video. That big pine tree right there. The beauty of this machine is it can go in between there, whereas a tractor couldn't. There's a brush pile in the back there. We'll work on that as well. And then we will work on this thicker brush, especially like around this oak tree, which we're trying to let all the oak trees grow and give them as much chance as possible to become big and have a big canopy. But they got this brush around them that's robbing them of nutrients. I've already got long pants on. I've got a long sleeve shirt on. They give you a face mask with hearing protection, and I got gloves as well. So I think I'll be kitted up. I'm also going to have a neck gaiter on and a sweatband, because I'm already sweating because it's Florida and it's warm already, and also because I'm a little nervous. Let's go! But I cleaned that up pretty good. Well, it's fresh in my mind because I'll never have these thoughts again as I get more experienced and more used to the machine. So I did 3 rows here, and not a single bad thing to say about the machine or the mulcher. Plenty of power, obviously does a great job. It's going to take some getting used to, but if you're wondering like why I was going so slow, it's because my first couple minutes with a mulching hit on this machine. Also, it's very uneven in here. Probably not picking up on the camera at all, but this is a narrow machine and it's very bumpy and very tippy. So with all that weight on the front, I want to make sure that I don't tip it over. I don't have any incidents or anything. I just wanted to get used to that weight on the front. And on more level ground, I can go a little quicker with it. Secondly, I can't hit any of these pine trees and knock the bark off, because if I do, they'll likely die. They'll send a lot of sap to that area and try to repair themselves, but they'll end up dying, or they'll get a weak knot right there. And as they grow, and with the high winds here in Florida, they'll end up breaking at that weak point. So I got to go. I got to go slow around the trees, and when I'm going close to the trees, I can't go too close and bump them. And this is a skid steer, so it's track driven, but it only moves 1 track at a time. So that first movement of the track is very, very quick. So when you're going up against a tree and you want to move over 1 inch, it wants to move 2 inches. I mean, it just wants to go quick anyway. So I got to be careful. I didn't skin up a single tree, and without using pruning shears or chainsaw or anything, this is clean, like as clean as it can probably get. And it's exactly what we needed for our property. I've said many times with the big Baumalight on back of the tractor that these may be Canadian made, but they were made for Florida. Everything is just thick brush. I mean, if you let it go, this brush just takes over. And it can be 10, 15, 20 foot tall. It can have the kudzu vines wrapped in it. So you need a lot of power to be able to mulch all that up. But it did a good job with it. Now, some of my friends that knew I was getting this machine were like, man, just be careful, because that thing's a powerful mulcher and things are going to want to come all, back on you and everywhere. I had it up high, I had it down low. Never once did I feel a piece of brush hit me. It all stayed out in front. I didn't feel anything hit the plexiglass of my safety shield. So it's well designed to keep the brush from hitting you, and either that or it's hitting the machine, and either way, it's not coming back. I didn't feel in any way endangered by flying brush. And I hit a big chunk of something, and it hit that, and it went ta-dunk, and went flying like 20 feet, and it stayed in front of the mulcher. So obviously you need to wear personal protective equipment. I'm all, covered up and gloved up. And it's just a blast. It's a blast. So that's, I guess, the third point or whatever, is that it is fun. It's slow, but it's fun. And when you're done, it's like painting a wall. Wall's red, and then 10 minutes later it's white because you painted over it. I've changed this area. This area is probably good to go for 3 months now and won't need anything other than brush hogging down in between the rows. All right, so that's my initial thoughts. Let me get back on it, work on some thicker brush, and just show you how this machine performs. I had to take a minute because that's a workout. Riding on back of that thing, you don't have a seat and you're constantly bumping back and forth. But oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine anything more satisfying or more fun with a piece of equipment. There's a couple things I'd like to talk about. Number one, I'm not a pro, right? I've got the amount of time you see on camera is how much time I have forestry mulching with a mini skid steer. So if there's those of you out there that are professionals and you're like, man, I could have done that more efficiently, or I do it this way or that way, feel free to leave a comment down below. But I'm gonna get better with this. But I do feel like I did a good job. I feel like I got things done that I wanted to get done. I'll give you some after footage here in a second. And I didn't harm the machine. I didn't put myself in danger. And I only messed up once with a tree. Let me show you that and just get it out of the way. So I had the mulcher too high here. Well, that you can see the beaver bite right there. And I was trying to get that piece of kudzu there, and I just got too cute with the mulcher, and it lurched forward, and that happened. And there's one tree in here that I hit with the tracks or the side of the machine, and I hit it kind of low because I got in tight, and I was trying to maneuver, and I just messed up a little bit, knocked a little bit of bark off of it. But otherwise, the rest of these pines are undamaged, and they are just incredibly clean in between of them. This is your after picture. It is just incredible what I got done with that machine. And some pointers. Number one, when you lift it really high, and this obviously makes sense, you're going to be more off balance, and you're more likely to do what I did to that pine, where you go up to it and you go to stop and it rocks forward. That happened. You can tilt the rotor head because it's just like a bucket on a tractor, and certain ways you tilt the rotor head, you can back drag or back blade or back mulch, whatever it's called, and you can spin everything forward, and it comes out real good, except it's not very level in here. But if you've got it up high and you turn it, that's the only time I had wood hit me in the face. Otherwise, the machine is in front of you and it's turning like this and it's throwing the wood that way. But if you turn it like that, where you can actually see the mulch blades, you will get some stuff coming back in your face. So I only did that a couple times, and that's when I wanted to go in high and push down on the tree, because just like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, with the Baumalight behind the tractor, this brush is tall. Like, I see people that are using these machines and they're going in the wintertime and there's no leaves, and it's like a little oak that's like that big, or it's that big, and it just mulches it up fine. Well, these things are 20 foot tall, and they're mixed with kudzu, and they're just a lot. They're a lot to mulch all at once. So you got to do a lot of back and forth, Go up, grab something, make sure it gets mulched, and grab another piece. I think in this whole section here, I stalled it 4 times, if not 5 times, but I never had to get off of it and get a saw and cut all the stuff out of it so that it would free itself. I'd restart it, of course, because it was stalled. Keep the mulching head off, back up away from the brush, lift it off the ground, and then engage it, and then let it spin out what bound it, and what was making it stall. Some of this brush here is a cluster, and it'll be 8 or 10 trunks. Some of them big, some of them small, but as soon as it knocks off that trunk, it wants to suck in that 15 or 20 feet, and it won't do it. It does not have enough horsepower. That thing's got 25 horsepower in that little compact machine, which is the same that's in a lot of little tractors, compact tractors. We have the Summit TX25, and that's a mid-size compact tractor. And we also have the KX71 Kubota excavator, and that's got a 25 horsepower engine. So 25 horsepower diesel is a lot of engine and a lot of torque, but it's almost not enough for this thick brush here. Now, maintaining this, it'll be fine. But if you do have thick brush, you got to keep in mind, you've only got 25 horsepower. Like, I'd love to see this machine with like 40 horsepower and see what it could do for brush. But how many people have that situation? And gosh, how dangerous would it be if that thing had that much torque? But it would be fun. It would be fun to try out. That's a little hint there, Baumalight. I'm going to make the walk just like I did in the beginning of the video. Those are the first few pine trees, and this is the oak at the edge of the pasture. And I'm going to go through here, and you remember what it looked like just a few minutes ago in the video. Look how nice that is, and cleaned up. And now there's no problem going in between there with a 5-foot brush hog. and not worrying about damaging your tractor. There's still some vines and stuff that have to be pulled down. Maybe do that with a grapple or cut them off at the roots and let them die. But that's what it looks like. This oak tree had that big piece of brush on it, and I was able to finagle that out of there. But sometimes you just got to get off of the mulcher and pull the brush out so that you can mulch it instead of trying to be cute with the machine and doing everything with the machine. But so just all around made it look cleaner. Keeps the snakes at bay, or at least keeps them visible, because our dog likes to go in the woods, and should also keep ticks at bay as well. We got a Brittany Spaniel, and she loves to go in the woods, and she always gets a tick or two on her, and she loves to kill snakes, and luckily she hasn't come across a venomous one yet, or a skunk. We saw a skunk this winter, but luckily she didn't get to it. But now we can look through there and see that section right there. There's probably 100 sections like that on Piney Grove we want to clean up. Some we want to leave more wild than others. Like as we go back here, I'm going to clean that up some, but I want a little bit of buffer because our neighbor over on this side is getting ready to put cattle in here, which will be cool to see cattle, but it also will be cool to be able to do things where you're behind a little bit of cover. So you want to clear, but you don't want to clear too much. I've used the bucket, I've used the grapple, I've used the mulcher. I haven't really had a need to use the forks yet. But let me know what you want to see. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. But until next time, y'all stay safe out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard, and try out one of these forestry mulchers. They're way cool. And the third thing, check out these 2 videos right here. They're cool too. It's your first look, babe. What do you think?
Wow. Just wow.